All right, we are back grading another one of your Dynasty
That is
teams.
right, baby.
If you want to be considered, join our Discord with the link in the description. And then there is a text channel that says Dynasty Team Grades.
Yep.
Make sure you send your team with the screenshots that we have asked for there. And we will consider. Can't promise, but we will consider. We are looking at Bturts team, I think is how you say his name. Is that right? Bturts?
Something like that, yes.
Bturts. A lot of context here. We'll bring the team up, but I'll read through the context that he gave us. He said, 12 team Superflex half PPR. I traded Dalvin, the 107, and the 207 for the 101 and CeeDee Lamb last month, which, by the way, what the hell? That's a huge win. Just traded Amon-Ra for a 23 first and 24 third. Thought they were steals. I think my obvious weak point is quarterback 2 and Wentz. Should be solid at running back. And he's liking his receiving core with CeeDee, Moore, and Deontay. He thinks he's missing one solid flex piece. He feels comfortable with his tight ends. And he's not sure what to do with Waller. Should he keep him? Should he move him?
Yep.
And he's asking for input there. So we're going to break this down position by position. And I'll be honest with you, Badake, in this video series, I have never been more conflicted on what sort of advice to give, because with this team, when I look at it, I genuinely feel like I could go either way, but I think the worst thing that you can do with this team is just stay where you are, because this team, as it currently is constructed, will not win a championship, but it's also not getting younger. So I am going to offer a lot of ideas, a lot of trade ideas in this video. And the trade ideas that because I just stuck to one direction, and the direction that I'm going to be providing today is a win now competing team. I don't know is that what your thoughts were as well?
This is what this team looks like. Obviously, you can see the team on your screen. It just looks like, at least the starting lineup, it's a win now team, in my opinion.
So the only reason I say that is because I do see a pathway to blowing it up. And if you want to blow it up, the players I would sell is Aaron Rodgers, Darren Waller, Deontay, DJ Moore, and literally anyone on the bench. Okay, everyone else you can keep. Maybe even JT. There's an argument, but we're not going to bring that perspective. I'm glad we're on the same page. We're going to bring, if you want to try and compete, let's look at the quarterback room here. Such a strange quarterback room.
It is.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Carson. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, R.I.P., Dwayne Haskins.
Yes, rest in peace.
But it's a good quarterback room. I guess that's the expectation. I think you can throw away Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, maybe best to drop Dwayne Haskins.
Maybe he starts this year, though, Tyrod, and you never know.
Maybe he does. And Baker Mayfield, I think that's the person you keep, because I think Aaron Rodgers and Carson Wentz, I guess you want to keep that depth just in case if Carson breaks both of his ankles again. But I think it's a good quarterback room. If we're keeping this to compete now, I think this is a solid QB room.
Okay. So you're saying hold. I have a couple ideas because I think we can improve here potentially, and I just want to throw those ideas out there. Aaron Rodgers, I feel like your window, would it surprise any of us if he did retire after this year with all the things that he wants to achieve in his life? It's a 3-year deal, but it feels like a year-by-year thing. So ideally, if I had one move I could make in this quarterback room, it would be to lateral my Aaron Rodgers and extend my window. So I have two ideas. One is if you can move Rodgers. The other is if you have to hold Rodgers.
Right.
So for Aaron Rodgers to extend your window, Matthew Stafford instantly comes to mind. Instantly. So I would try moving Aaron Rodgers in a second. Start with a third, but I think you might have to include a second to go out and get a guy like a Matthew Stafford. Now, there's a couple other names in that category that I think you could consider. Jalen Hurts isn't a terrible chance. I think some people value him high, some people value him way too low. So I think he's also someone that you could look at, but Matthew Stafford instantly comes to mind. He is, I think, 5 years younger, in a really good offense. I think that could extend your window quite significantly. Now, if you have to hold Rodgers and no deals get done, then how about this? Why don't we try going all out? Why don't we try going all out and moving Carson Wentz? Okay. What if we move Carson Wentz in a 23 first for Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott? Sounds crazy, but both of those trades are definitely achievable. And I'm not a big Dynasty trade calculator guy. I think some people use it as a Bible. I hate them.
Right.
I think they don't really include context, but both of these guys are tradable. And
it's so hard for
Carson Wentz in a 23 first.
Yeah.
Most trade calculators are going to say, yeah, this is even value. So
it's hard
Russell
for me
Wilson,
to
Dak Prescott, I prefer Dak there. But then you got Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson or Dak, and that instantly improves your championship opportunity year one.
Yeah, for me, it's hard to me to envision anyone wanting to trade for Aaron Rodgers and Carson Wentz. That's why I think it's probably best to keep that and then prioritize, if it does fall that way, maybe the 2023 first to get a quarterback, you know? But it's it's hard. It's hard to say, and it's hard to know what that 23 first is going to be. It's hard to know like what's going to happen. So I think to make the lateral move, if you can, absolutely. I think it would be really tough to pull off. But if you can do it, I mean, kudos.
Totally. Well, that's why I'm giving a bunch of options for him to
100%,
kind of pursue. I'm not saying you're going to make all these deals. These are just options that I'm providing. But I don't think sending Carson Wentz in a 23 first with the way everyone's valuing 23 first is impossible to get Russell Wilson or Dak. I think that's a very doable deal.
On how they value Carson Wentz.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can tell them that Carson Wentz was a quarterback 14 last year. So it's not as if he's a mug himself. But let's look at the running back room. Brees and JT, one hell of a running back room. You're about to get Brees with the 101, like you said. So really, you just need to find a decent RB3.
Exactly.
To flex and maybe for injuries.
Just in case.
I have a bunch of ideas to throw out there, but I'd like to hear if you have any specific opinions on that.
No, I think right now for the running back room, I didn't have any specific ideas to get depth. One person I did have in mind was Kenny G to try to get a lower end running back. What that looks like, I don't know, but it's really hard to really package anyone. The only other person I can think of, because I wanted to break down the wide receivers to where you can kind of get that package to get value in everywhere else, was DJ Moore and then Darren Waller. So those are the two things I wanted to say, but I know you had an idea, so you go for it. I have an idea for to sell a wide receiver and a tight end to get depth at running back, but
I've got 6 ideas for you here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Miles Sanders, Ezekiel Elliott, and Tony Pollard. These are all guys that are going in our last couple real drafts in the 10th round of startup drafts. And their value is getting significantly lower and lower. There could be a team that would be looking for draft capital and a shot on a quarterback. So how about Baker Mayfield, the 307, and then add Berrios or Donovan Peoples-Jones to that trade and see if you can get one of Pollard, Elliott, and Sanders. Might not be possible, but these are trades that I'm throwing out to see if they are possible.
Okay.
If a team is weak at quarterback, there's literally no hurt in sending this offer. And by the way, yes, every trade calculator says this is more than even for the side who is receiving Baker. How about Ronald Jones, Damian Harris, if we want to take a step down? How about sending Baker Mayfield in the 307 for Ronald Jones?
Okay.
You need some depth at the running back position. How about sending Baker Mayfield in the 307 for Damian? Yeah, he's got 1 year left, but you need some depth for this year. And a break glass scenario is sending the 307 and a 23 fourth for Cordero Patterson. Why would someone trade away Cordero Patterson? Well, he's 31 years old. He doesn't cost that much at all in the trade market. This is a Cordero Patterson who's going in the 15th round of Dynasty startups. So these trades might not sound realistic, but they are. These are all running backs that no one is necessarily greedily holding on to.
I think it's hard to sell Baker. I don't think anyone wants Baker. But if there's somebody in your league, that's why it's really hard to offer trades and to give you ideas, because me personally, I don't see value in Baker. I don't see value in Berrios or anyone else, like in those trade ideas. But I know we're working with what.
It's not like I just said send Miles Sanders directly for Braxton Berrios.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like we're working.
I'm doing my absolute best to give this guy every single idea possible, and you're like, nah. I don't have an idea for you, but nah. Come on.
I do have.
What's
ideas.
your idea then?
I do have ideas. I'm thinking of selling DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, or Darren Waller. You know, same thing with if I were to sell, if we go to the wide receivers now, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, I'm thinking of doing more of a lateral move. Okay, so with DJ Moore, we're not. At least I'm not a massive DJ Moore believer. I know Zach is kind of on the fence, but maybe why not move? Why not take a step to the side? Maybe get a Michael Pittman that also goes in the 4th round of Dynasty startups, or is right next to their rankings. If you want to go to Jerry Jeudy, I think that is definitely doable in the wide receiver room to get younger and give yourself some life, because we don't like the wide receivers. We don't like DJ Moore's life in the quarterback, if that makes sense. If you wanted to get running back depth, I think you could do a DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore for J.K. Dobbins. I think that's pretty fair, Or you can even go lower. You can get Cam Akers and get some more value to get some more running back depth. You can do Josh Jacobs. I think that you can get more from DJ Moore and Josh Jacobs if you really wanted to. Those are the type of things I'm thinking about.
I think the issue with all those ideas is that they don't help his starting lineup at all. This doesn't improve his starting lineup. You take away a starting wide receiver for a starting running back. How does that doesn't really improve the team?
I think it's because he has depth, because you have CeeDee Lamb.
Where's the depth on this team?
You have CeeDee Lamb and Deontay Johnson.
Look at the bench.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Who can he place in there?
Well, you sell to gain. So you sell DJ Moore to gain a better, longevity. I guess a younger wide receiver that can help this team compete in the future, right? I mean, DJ Moore is that guy, but we don't believe in that. At least I don't. And then you sell Darren Waller because you already have Pat the Dragon, and you could do the same with getting some running back depth. Whoever that can be Sky Morris, Josh Jacobs, that can be AJ Dillon, Monty. These all these guys that can be packaged in with Waller, or to be packaged to sell Waller, and then you can receive those guys back, which you can give a wide receiver depth, which could be young, or it can be a young running back. That's how I was approaching it.
Yeah, I'm on board with Waller.
Because I think you can get a lot for Waller, and I think you can get a lot for DJ Moore. Even Deontay. It just really depends, because people love Deontay and people love Moore. You can get some of these young rookies, or take a chance. Like people don't like Brandon Ayuk. I mean, it's not amazing. People don't like a Gabriel Davis, Darnell Mooney. You can get so much more in the package. You can think it may be iffy. I'm thinking of people like Amon-Ra St. Brown that people are kind of like on the fence. Allen Robinson that you can probably flip for even more than what DJ Moore is valued right now. Those are the people I'm thinking about to bring some more depth on your team. Yeah,
so I'm on board with Darren Waller. I think trades that are realistic for Darren Waller. Again, I want to improve your starting lineup. I don't think deals make much sense if I'm giving you a player for the same player and it doesn't improve my lineup. Mm-hmm. But if you can move Darren Waller, put Pat into your starting lineup, go out and try for Sky Moore, try for Hollywood Brown, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Rashad Bateman. These are all players that trade calculators say that you can get. Now, they're not perfect. As far as the wide receivers, I'm on board to sell Deontay and DJ Moore, but I'm not on board to just lateral for like the same position 1-for-1. You need to improve your overall starting lineup, because if you don't improve your depth, you don't improve your lineup, one injury happens, or someone doesn't perform the way you think they do, and then you're not really in a championship window. So for Deontay Johnson, I'm thinking of, a lot of people view Deontay as a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. A lot of people do. I don't. But people argue with me about Deontay all the time, so there are Deontay truthers out there. How about sending Deontay Johnson? Maybe you have to include a late-round pick for Cortland Sutton and an Allen Robinson. Okay? How about trying that? How about trying sending Deontay? Maybe you have to include a late-round pick, who knows, like a future rookie pick, for a Juju and a Keenan Allen. You're getting older players, but you're getting players who have good situations around them and good contracts. How about sending Deontay for maybe an Amari Cooper?
Yep.
As well as another, wide receiver 2 or 3. For DJ Moore, how about we package him with a second and we go out and we try and get Mike Evans and Hollywood Brown. We package him in a second, we try and get Terry McLaurin and Rashad Bateman. So these are all deals. Again, I think it's so important to improve your starting lineup. I'm not so certain that if you're doing these 1-for-1 deals, you're going to find yourself in the same spot. I really do think you'll find yourself in the same spot. And then, I mean, we kind of haven't really accomplished what we want to.
Right.
So I think at the end of the day, what you really need to focus on is filling those flex spots, feeling better about your RB3, and if possible, upgrading at quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, look, if you're not able to do
that.
the deals, if you're not able to do the deals that we're discussing here, then I do think it's not the wrong answer to blow it up. If this is a team that you're going to enter the year with, I don't want to enter the year with this team.
This is easy to blow up, I think. If you really
you
wanted
could
to.
easily sell a lot of these players and really build for the future, including Waller, including Rodgers, including Deontay, DJ. I mean, I don't want to sell Jonathan Taylor, but if you can get a king's ransom for him,
that's exactly.
I mean, we could be looking at, let's say 8 first-round picks and players from the haul that you have. So, if you can do any of these ideas that we suggested, I would definitely pursue them. But I think there's a lot of movement for this team that can be made.
There's definitely opportunity, and you have two 2023 first, so there's definitely room to improve no matter what or compete. I think with the team that you have right now, once you get Brees on, I think you can compete with this team. It's all about the depth, in my opinion. It's trying to get those guys that matter. Maybe in the 2023 that 307 that you have, you hope to get someone, depending on how they fall, a Brian Robinson, the Damian Pierces. I doubt they will fall to there, but maybe you can trade up and try to get something like that, Maybe try and trade up and get one of these guys. I mean, I believe in a James Cook. It all depends on how the board falls in these rookie drafts, because maybe your answer is at the 307 already. Maybe
I don't think
you can
so.
get it.
I really don't think so.
I know that's what I'm saying. But maybe if somebody falls that crazy in your drafts, the Damians, the Cooks, which I really doubt, the Isaiah Spillers,
would never happen though, from what we've seen.
It's really hard. It's really hard to do it. But depending on your drafts, it can be something like that. And hey, then your answer is there.
We've never seen that though, so I don't think that the 307 is the answer.
No, I know. I'm not saying the 307 is the answer. I said, but in his drafts, the way people value people or the way people fall, you never know what can happen.
Maybe you never know. So I think it's a decent starting lineup. I think what we have to keep in mind though, you put Brees in there, but then you got injuries, then you got bye weeks, and eventually you're finding yourself a player short almost every other week when Aaron Rodgers has his bye and when Carson Wentz has his bye, that's 2 weeks where you don't have 2 starting quarterbacks on your team.
Yeah. I guess really
same thing with JT and Brees when they go on buys. Then that's another week you don't really have a starting running back too. Same with CD, same with DJ. So that's why I just feel like it's super important to improve the overall lineup in depth. But a lot of ideas out there that we just gave.
Yeah,
and I hope that they are helpful.
I really hope Baker does. I think that's probably the hardest person for me to value. I can't see anyone wanting Baker Mayfield. That's why it was so hard to envision those trades. But hey,
the thing is, I'm telling him to trade for players that literally no one is drafting in startups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not as if I'm saying go out and get J.K. Dobbins.
No, I know. I'm not saying that. Even then, I'm not trying to. As a fantasy player, and I think even our community, they don't want nothing to do with Baker. So if you can find that value for him somewhere, I think that's fantastic. That's what I'm saying. And that's so hard to envision. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens and what you can get.
All right, let us know what your thoughts are down below. Hopefully this is helpful. Bturts, comment down below.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.